Hey guys, Ballatw here, back with another VOD review. We finally have some competitive Fortnite being played. We did have the Trios Cash Cup over the weekend, and it was awesome throughout EU, throughout NA East, throughout NA West, throughout OC. All the regions were really fun to watch. Didn't get to watch some of them, but I did watch Europe and NA East, and we casted them on my channel. And Zayt, Bizzle Saf had one of the most dominant performances throughout. I tweeted about their match history and stuff like that, and it looks like they literally got like an average of something ridiculous in their games. Every single game, it was something crazy. So we're going to take a look at it. We watched a little bit on the cast, and we already saw some crazy things. Obviously, still Loot Lake. And one of the biggest things I saw was their splits. It's just getting better and better. At ESO Katowice, they had Zayt and Saf had a split that was like, when the cannons were involved, they had such a good split. They were basically getting all of this from Mitro and Kuna, who were taking like some of center and then like this too, like the little RV park down there, but they were getting so much, and then it's upgraded with the balls here. Zayt and Saf had a little split there, but just look at this starting split. This is Bizzle, this is Zayt, and this is Saf or something like that. I don't know. We can zoom in to actually see. I don't know why I can't hear the game right now. Zayt, Saf, and Bizzle. Look at the split, completely uncontested, and because of it, they get a huge amount of stuff. They actually started going sky platform towards the ends of the games, but people are hella scared of them, and that's because they've done such a good job running people off of Loot Lake in all sorts of stuff. Trust me, I've dropped against them, and every single time they will fuck your day up until you leave and stop dropping there. Like, Bizzle, where are you going? Literally get so much loot because of the splits that they have, because they're so comfortable. Finally, this guy is going to start encroaching a little bit, and that's just an opportunity for a free kill. So this is what I talk about when I say early game splits are so important. What you can get, what you can find, the information you can get. That's why I say you have to be watching where you're gliding, because this split is ridiculous. And we'll see later on in a couple of their games, like them just absolutely dominating teams that land here because they get an advantageous split against them and then just come in from all three angles. So anyways, enough about the early game splits and stuff like that. I can't even load all their POVs because they're too far away from each other. Because they're way too far away from each other. I have it on 2x, and we're just going to continue watching. That guy came and stole. I think we'll watch Zayt because he's doing a little bit of the most interesting stuff. He stole a little bit, but still, this is unlooted. This whole side is unlooted. This is unlooted. And this is unlooted. Like, come on, man. And remember, the reason why this is actually okay and comfortable for them is because of the sky platforms, right? And the slipstreams and stuff like that. So if Saf gets in trouble, he can leave with the slipstream. If Bizzle gets in trouble, or if anybody else gets in trouble, he can leave to them with the slipstream. The only person who's like really shambles is Zayt, and it looked like in this game it was like, oh, it was an audible that they went there because his drop landed up over here. He got a llama maybe and decided, oh, maybe we can do this. This might have actually been an audible call throughout the tournament, realizing that this corridor was mostly never touched and like nobody even noticed, and maybe the sky platform was as well. So he's like, oh, I found a llama. Oh, fuck it, let's go to the sky platform. And then later on in the games they adapted it even further. But it's smart, right? The sky platform can get you over here. It can get you all the way over here. So with that, he can literally get, or actually it could send you to this too and get to anywhere else. So if there's any trouble, these guys can just turtle, wait for Zayt to get there, or, you know, do from there. So they're all pretty much safe because of all the mobility around it. And there's so many spots. Like, I don't want to say that this is just Loot Lake. Guys, there are so many spots on the map where splitting very hard is very comfortable. Look at the Lazy Lagoon team. One guy's all the way over here, one guy's all the way over here. This is what happens when you try to drop on a spot and don't have your splits, because you don't end up, what Tfue Clicks and Sway were doing is they were trying to control like this much of the block, right? They were trying to control the balls, and then fight in the block, and then set something up, sometimes even peeking into Pleasant Park. So every single spot has its opportunities, right? And in trios, it's so important to do this because there's not enough loot right here. There's not enough, well, block might be something different, and it obviously depends on the block, but there's not enough loot in soccer field. Look at these guys might be a Viking team who push, but there's not enough loot for 3 people in soccer field. So you can't do this type of split. You have to, I mean, this type of split. You can't take all one spot. You have to split out like this, like these guys in factories, right? Shit, get as greedy as you can in the early game. Obviously don't do anything risky. Don't 50-50. And this is something that I even in solos, like don't 50-50, go split something else. There's loot available. And almost never is like literally every spot going to be taken for loot. Sure, I understand that theoretically. Theoretically, let me start the game. Zayt. What happened here? Oh, it was a quad? Oh, he thought he... Wait, what? He got in a slipstream. Yo, what? How come you took damage? That's messed up. That's scuffed. Okay, so I was going to say, I understand. I was going to play the game. I was going to say, I understand that theoretically, in solos, for example, there are not enough spots for solos to drop without getting 50-50'd. Like viable, good solo spots, right? But that does not mean that you can turn any other spot into a viable spot by rolling around and getting all different things, right? There are so many different things that you can grab. Shacks, everything. You can always get unshambles. Okay, so this is the first game. I'm gonna speed it up as much as possible. We talked about the early game a lot right now. We didn't see an engagement. We'll find that out later. Honestly, we might skip ahead. I want to see their rotations, just their ideas of rotations and stuff like that. They got zone. Don't need to do much. Let's maybe look at some stuff. Zayt's voice, this game is so fucking garbage. Yeah, when he landed. I think I should switch from controller, keyboard, and mouse at this point in the game. I don't know, it's a preference, dude. Is this finals or semis? This is finals. Even getting their burger, man. Like, where are they right now? Okay, facts, their burger, and here. Completely unharassed this entire time, which is fairly lucky, even with their split. But look, going up here. More loot. Baller opportunities, I think. Saf might have a baller. No, they probably all are gone. Oh, they do have 2 ballers. Okay, this is something that Saf must have done earlier, which is controlling space. And you see him doing it here again. It is not bad to split while you guys are rotating. It is not bad for Saf to be so far ahead, as long as he controls the entire situation, the information around him, right? As long as he knows as much as he can about what is going on in Pleasant, what is going on behind them. Obviously, Zayt and Saf know what's going on behind them, but are there any teams encroaching, starting to come up? If that is true, he can't take as much space as he does. So he has to back up and wait for his teammates. But because he knows that there's nobody in this area that's trying to push up at this current moment, there's nobody in the sky flying to him, right? He makes a little base here, just a little one. There's a bunch of metal here that he can regroup on, right? And then he continues scouting and continues getting more space. And now they control this half of the mountain for sure, right? It is going to be so hard for anybody to push up this way without spending a lot of mats, without making it expensive. Same thing for here. This side, if Saf stays in this case, in this box, which I don't think he will, but maybe he will, it will be a little bit difficult, but obviously people can mount and go and whatever. This side is really, really hard to step up. So actually, when you think about this mountain in specific, this spot is the most valuable spot on the mountain because this is really steep. People can still get on the side of the mountain. Here, climbing this mountain is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. So this, I think, is probably the most valuable spot in the mountain, especially considering it's more center zone in the circle. And value can change based on where that circle goes. But I love what they do here to control the mountain. I love it. I love it. Let's take a look at loot right now. Took shockwaves, pump. Basically full loadout. Bizzle. Basically full out with a ton of heals. No bigs or anything. Oh, hold on. Awesome. I think this is really, really self-explanatory, but very, very nice. I wonder how many times they get 3 balls from freaking Pleasant late. Like, but yeah, in trios, you can go ahead and send somebody to get a drop. Very self-explanatory, very obvious to a lot of people. Here, look at what Zayt's doing. Taking more space. As soon as the circle's revealed, this is still a very valuable spot, but not as valuable as some other spots on this mountain, right? It is still very valuable because there's going to be a lot of gatekeeping opportunities. But Zayt immediately, as zone gets revealed, while Bizzle is going over here, he takes his base and bases up over here. Look. Or no, what is he doing? Yeah, he's just spending a lot of time farming. Is he going to go back up to the base? Maybe. Or are they going to stay? Look, that's what I'm talking about. The ability to control the space here. He pushes a baller away. Easy to push a baller away, but because of the positioning, okay, he comes back to this base. Okay. I was gonna say he's proving me wrong, but then he goes and does it anyways, except not in the base that he was talking about. So this was something that actually Tfue was doing a long time ago, back in solos and fall skirmish. In the first fall skirmish that he won, he was making fake bases all over the place, and it was totally working. There is nobody who has made it onto this hill. Anybody who's up here is going on the side just because they know there are people on the base. There might be people who land on here later, which is very difficult to obviously push off. But without rifts, really, without launch pads to push up that high, it's not going to happen just yet. Look how safe he is up here on this mountain now. I know I'm talking about a lot, but he is literally running around jumping off the side of the mountain because he knows he's completely comfortable, completely safe. There's nobody who's going to be able to touch him because there's nobody else on the mountain. They're still split, by the way. They haven't grouped up. They haven't grouped up at all. And Zayt taking the spot actually ends up that they are going to have a spot in circle that they control at this point. So I love it. So it's funny when you think about how this is actually going to play out. The more people do this, the easier it is going to be to actually find people to push and kill, right? Because the more people do this, the more solos there are going to be. Thank you, chat. The more solos there are going to be around the map. But is that beneficial or negative? If people start realizing that and they start pushing Zayt, for example, then Bizzle Saf can just come in and they all of a sudden are like, oh wait, he's not actually a solo. So, interesting. All right, let's move. I want to know when Saf and Bizzle come over. I think that's an important question. Meantime, let me pause real quick. Cool. Half in, half out. So I also have a question about these guys that a lot of people are probably asking is how the hell are they hide every single game? In this game, I already see the ballers as a possibility. I know they have a launch pad, but they do it every single game, like no matter what. So sure, loot lake could be or the way that they play loot lake could be a very important aspect to that. Did he bring his baller? Yeah, okay. So they all have ballers, very easy to rotate. I think I want to turn off nameplates, to be honest. They're just so big. So he gives up his baller. He just completely gives it up. I think they all might have given it up. Do they have it at all? No, they don't have any ballers now. They just gave him up to take high ground. They're just floating around somewhere on the floor. It's pretty funny. Pretty funny. Okay, he's already tunneling towards the side, so he can get angles without having to worry about moving too much. And he's doing it by himself, letting everybody else stay and look for shots. And Zayt says, hey, I'm going to go ahead and start tunneling towards zone. Just, it's not even really a tunnel, it's just a tarp. And he's looking in zone. Dude, he's the best at doing this. Always finding opportunities to find spots to go in. To take high ground with. Like, they have it. Okay, that was a very simple take, but that was all because they planned. They planned on taking it. They planned to ball up onto high ground and look for a spot, use the launch pad to get back onto the hill. That was a little lucky based on zone positioning, and we'll see. I'm sure people are going to fight them for it. I'm 100% sure people are going to fight them for it. But who knows? Depending on how they play, maybe they deter it. And I've seen that with stomping. Let's slow down. One thing I'm noticing already, and I saw this in their last game, was everybody goes and splits in different directions on high ground. They all split in different directions and connect from various random angles. And they're spending like they're building one piece. They're not triple tarping to connect to each other and shit like that. They're literally just all building one piece around and then connecting in random different angles. And I've talked about it a lot. Being split creates opportunities, creates different angles to be able to shoot people, but see what I mean? Like none of this is held up by anything. They're just using their metal and building one pieces and connecting randomly to each other. Now they're finally together, and we'll see if they just continue to tarp the normal way. What the hell? Oh, this is cool, man. Alright, 2 questions. What the hell is the shotgun or the shockwave for? And then how are you getting away with not like doing anything to cover yourself? I'm guessing shockwave, saving mats. I'm guessing the reason that this is entirely a thing in general is, again, the same type of concept that I was just talking about, but also controlling all this layer, right? If people see somebody on the layer and they're getting pressured, they're either going to decide to, tunnel away from them, get away from them, or go up or down. And in most cases, especially when there's a team right above them, they decide to go down. So this is controlling a lot of space here for Saf, Bizzle, and Zayt. And we saw so many good teams splitting the high ground, but never in such an interesting way here. And then obviously the fact that he's down here gets him so many more opportunities for kills, because high ground is one-dimensional the way that they look at it. Where's Bizzle? It almost kind of feels like they're taking turns. Right? That was a clean fight. That was Saf saying, "Hey, we're going to engage this guy." Zayt saying, "Okay, I'm going to be with you." He gets on the back wall, easy pinch, very easy pinch. And Bizzle is doing his own thing, but as the fight takes longer, he actually comes back and starts pressuring. He doesn't come back, but he pressures from where he's at. If you notice, nobody has challenged them. They've all come down to each other. They've all come down to other players. And when I'm saying they're taking turns, Zayt went ahead first, and then Zayt came back, went with Saf, and Bizzle went ahead. Okay? And then maybe Zayt's going to go ahead. We'll see if this repeats itself throughout the night. Bizzle just reloaded everything. And again, Jesus Christ, why? Here we go. And again, it's Zayt going down, and Bizzle staying up. Look, this is why nameplates are important. Like, very nice. Just slowly trying to figure out what these layers are doing. I'm surprised they're not spamming down to open up holes for Zayt to play into. So this is really nice. Zayt Shockwave's up, build fights for a little while. I'm gonna look at Saf from here. And oh, that sucks. But the pressure from Saf gives Zayt the opportunity to come back up, and he's really just harassing them and forcing them to fight for height and fight for and spend their resources and spend their attention. Bizzle just took out one of them from a different angle. Saf is ulti. No, Saf is not ulti low. I thought he was. All of a sudden, they're back together. That first team who challenges them, they have a plan, right? With the shockwaves that Zayt has, and then Bizzle and Saf just immediately just shooting up. They didn't even build fight. They didn't even build fight at all. It was literally, well, besides Zayt, it was literally just Saf and Bizzle shooting up. They were just like, okay, you go ahead with the shockwaves, do crazy shit, whatever. We're just gonna shoot up. And eventually, not only did they get the reset, but they caused them to like actually be split on different levels. People get so focused on build fighting that they forget about all the different pinches and angles that they can actually recover from. It's so common. Even you'll see. There's some teams when you're in open field build fighting that just get completely lost when you actually do end up going for a build fight. Look at the pinch that they're already. Everybody's here. This is a 1v1 v1. I don't know what it was. But like you give the pinch masters basically one more player to work with. It's one more angle to work with. It's no chance anybody who's fighting. No chance. See? Pinch masters again. Jamper almost freaking won the game. But Bizzle came down and Saf came down slightly late. Because I think Bizzle was trying to get to Zayt to start the pinch and be beyond them at the same time. But Saf carefully is like, Zayt already went down and realizes that I have to go down with Bizzle. Bizzle goes down a little, possibly a little early, but still, doesn't matter. And even if the timing is not perfect, you get these. Moving on. Emad, where's that partner, man? You know where it is. It's locked up in Twitch headquarters. Emad's been trying to bang on the door, trying to get in, but he doesn't have the keys. For whatever reason, he's getting Zayt kept from Twitch partnership. Come on, Twitch. Give him the keys. Emad's like, let me in! Let me in! They're like, nah, man. We let the gang in, you know what happens. Game 2. They get second place in this game. 20-point first game. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. I'm slowing it down because I want to see what the adjustments they make on base what I want to see. So we see this guy probably going for a modern drop. We see this guy possibly going for a sky platform drop, but also possibly over here. Not exactly sure. Not exactly sure. And then I don't know what the fuck this guy's doing. He late dropped. So are they getting 50-50'd? Like crazy? Ooh wee. They're getting 50-50'd like crazy. So this is interesting. I want to see how this plays off. This guy doesn't get a gun. Zayt's dead. Saf. That guy, what the hell? How did he just come in from there? Here comes Bizzle. He's waiting. He's waiting for Bizzle. Where is Bizzle? Is this Bizzle? Dude, I love how slow Bizzle takes this. They already know Zayt's dead. I love how slow Bizzle takes this. Perfect moment here. Okay, those guys made the mistake of all grouping up to get that res instead of just like having somebody, like if that guy held this position, right? He would have, Zayt would have such a tough. No, sorry. Saf would have such a tough time actually pushing it. I'm gonna skip to the end of the game to get their names in, because I don't like when there's no names. We're gonna watch that fight again from Bizzle's POV, because I feel like he went really slow for a specific. Like, I don't know if this was him just being slow, but no, he's making sure this guy doesn't see him. You see right now he's like waiting to get behind the tree. And then he goes with line of sight right up here and slowly encroaches. If this guy stays here, sure, Bizzle might be able to get him. But if he stays there and tries to spot, where is this third guy? Because they don't know it. So this is a mistake on these guys' part. He's going to wait. Yeah, see? He waits until they get in a pinchable position. Saf, Bizzle right here. They set up a pinch in a 2v2. Well, it's possibly even a 2v3. I don't really know what their plan was there, but that was a masterful, like, 50-50 this. You never even in when people start 50-50ing you. Again, I always say don't 50-50, but this isn't really, like, they're just trying to control their space, and they realized that they could get chests and stuff like that, and Saf had this to himself, or whatever it is. I don't really know how these play out. Let me zoom in so I can see this. Yeah, Saf had this to himself. So he wasn't in any danger. He could maybe not find a weapon, which would be bad. But Bizzle's up here, and they would never full commit, or they should never full commit. Like, fucking 3 people are gonna land here. Let's go ahead and land all on them, right? They're still controlling their split, and guess what? Because of the way that Loot Lake is, and because they already are experienced with how people rotate in the Loot Lake and how late they do, it's not like anybody has a plan to just push Loot Lake, which maybe you shouldn't. Maybe that's a possibility. But they're going to get this reboot off free. Whoa, that's really big. Reboot off free. So as long as they know they can win the fight. Still GG's. Still GG's, man. Yeah. So I love this concept of landing the sky platforms as a split. One person in every trio can land sky platform. I think that is very, very smart. Very, 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 very smart. Speed it up. That was funny. You saw how the marker went like all the way over there, just flew over. That's fucking hilarious. Poor driftport. Oh no, it's still here. Still here. Like, see, look, the block is fucking contesting with 3 people every single time, and they're not getting anywhere near as much value as players like this. All right, look where Bizzle went all the way up there, got some extra. He could even go up here. Make sure they grab what they need, 100%. Only cool people remember Saf and Ghoul as a duo. All of Saf's duos have been incredibly tactical. And obviously there's only really been 2, but Saf and Ghoul and Saf and Zayt. They're incredibly tactical. That's another perfectly, like, the first game they got a drop like really close to Loot Lake, so that wasn't like, that was just like random RNG, but this was like a perfectly timed, I don't know, I guess it's drops are RNG. Well, let's be serious here. I can't say that drops are not RNG. Besides the fact that they have the balls to go for him. He actually, I haven't messed with this robot at all. They're legit basing on the robot. Completely different than the other game. Okay, not completely different. There goes Zayt. There goes Zayt to claim some space. Or claim possibly a drop. What's Zayt doing? Oh. Can they even get it? Yeah, they can. That's hilarious. Okay, yes, now claiming space. Holy fuck, Saf. Whoa. What and why? That's a very close base claim. Base claim? Is that a way to say that? It's like as soon as zone spawns, one of them goes with this thing. And this is the same thing that they did last time, except they had ballers in the first iteration of this. Saf has balls of steel, dog. Yo, did you just steal this guy's base? Did he just steal these guys' base, or was this his originally? When did he make this? He must have made this. I'm just curious when. He hasn't edited down, so I like actually don't have confirmation. Yes, he could. I've always wondered if that was like worth doing, like building brick and just going to farm the like this little brick piles. I could just do the math, but I never did. In this case, it clearly was not worth it because he gave up his space and they knew it. Look how they approach the position. Again, split. Split, split, split. These guys have to be like the most comfortable players I've ever seen playing split. It's because they're trying to set up opportunities for themselves. So if those guys decide to push Saf, at that point they're fucked because they have Bizzle on one side and Zayt on the other. They're gonna get fucked. Yeah, especially in trios, but in duos it's the same it's the same thing. Zayt and Saf are one of the most comfortable teams playing, not right on top of each other. Like even this line here that they have set up, this is good. Even this little line that they have set up, it makes it so much more difficult for people when they're gliding or moving or anything like that to escape the line of sight. Like think about somebody rotating from here, running down the hill. Okay, right? If he's running down the hill, he actually right now he needs to block. Switch colors. He needs to block from Bizzle, okay, and Saf. It's just a wall, right? But to block from Zayt, he needs to place a wall like that. So this is just fucking uncomfortable. If they're all standing on the same spot, he just places a wall, and it's fine the entire time down. But because of this line formation that they have, bruh. 400 IQ. 400 IQ. And yeah, infantry is super meta. Almost to the point of being meta in solos, but it's definitely meta in trios and duos. And I'm saying meta, but like it hasn't actually become meta. It's really only become like used by a bunch of really good players and like every once in a while, not really like, oh yeah, I want to do this every game, but I think it is something that you should be doing every game. Every game. I like it. So they come back, they try it. I don't know if it was trying to force mobility or just clearing out the space. Just clearing out the space. That just gave them the ability to farm so much. They have no mobility, by the way. Oh, it's 6 shockwaves. That's it. 6 shockwaves. Whoa, Bizzle. Bizzle, how'd you get the ACOG, bro? ACOG on a Scar? You're nuts, dog. What the hell? You're ridiculous. That is unfair. Oh, my bad. Replay bug. Replay bug. Yo, I'm saying these rotates are freer than you would expect in trios. They are much freer than you would expect. And honestly, probably safer in the long run. Like, it's safer to just go on foot and stay together than to try to do these crazy shockwaves or launch pads or anything like that where you end up landing in different spots and stuff like that. Oh, Zayt, you are a genius. You guys saw that, man. He's building on the edge and sniping underneath where his toes would be exposed. He tried it briefly. You're a genius. You're a genius. We're not using replay. They aren't using replay mode for live events. They never use replay mode. It's a separate client. This replay mode and live spectator are completely different things. Live spectator is almost relatively bug-free and very clean and very low latency, right? Replay mode is only for online events that they aren't using the live spectator tool. They use the live spectator tool for customs. For the skirmish events, for example, they use the live spectating tool. Back then it was scuffed and they were working on it. But if you watch Secret Skirmish, if you watch the ESL Katowice, they were all very clean, almost bug-free. And it did not net an unenjoyable viewing experience. Everybody is, I don't know why they made it so similar, but this is the replay mode. There's a completely different tool that they use to spectate live events. What is gonna be cool with the replay tool, guys, is the fact that you can actually watch anybody's POV live-ish. They're gonna have this available. They did this at the Pro-Am, nobody noticed. They did it where every single POV was available to watch in replay mode with almost no delay, which makes it so you can watch whoever the fuck you want live from home. But you can also use, maybe on a different screen, you can have the broadcast, which honestly to me is gonna increase the entire viewing experience by tenfold if people realize. And I don't think people understand the value and the benefit of replay mode, even if it's buggy, even if it looks like shit sometimes. Is Zayt really get in here? I was just talking about like how beautiful it is to rotate on foot here. He's gonna get in. Where did they go? Oh, they got in. Did they get punished? A little bit. Saf is ticking. Oh no, they're leaving the chug. Nice. Nice, Zayt. He made it. So I think there's a different philosophy from solos all the way to trios, which would be in solos like the way that you have to play is use your mobility as you need it, right? If you need to make a rotate, you don't want to take the risk. You don't want to take the risk of going on foot if you have the possibility of using mobility. Depending on other things around you, obviously, but you're more likely to use your mobility, right? Shadows there was like week number 3 or 5 of solos was when people realized that a lot was like shadows, just use them because you're gonna get placement points like that. But as in duos, that's a little bit less like that, right? You want to use your mobility for the more impactful things. And in trios, I think this is where it really, really, really becomes a thing. Because when I say becomes a thing, means that you want to save your mobility for the most impactful moments. Because you have teammates to back it up, right? If you die, you're not automatically not getting placement points, right? You are just dying, and you have 2 more teammates who can still carry the load, okay? And in fact, in some cases, it's almost easier for them to carry the load because they don't have to move 3 people. Right now, I feel like in the future, that's not necessarily always going to be the case, but you also have to make bigger plays, right? In solos, in order to take high ground, you just have to kill one dude. In trios, you're fighting against 3 people. So that's the kind of philosophy shift that I'm talking about, and possibly why they decide to not use those shockwaves to go like this, or to make this rotate. That's really cool right there. Something really small, but Saf stays in the back while they start to tunnel. I don't know what the impact of this is too much. Is it like he has no chance of getting shot at all? This is one of those situations when you watch, when you ask yourself, why the hell do I always get spammed from the entire server? Then watch this game, because Zayt, Bizzle, and Saf have been spammed from the entire server this entire time, and guess what? They're still gonna get second. This entire time, because they made a shambles rotate into a bad position, and they're still gonna do it. They're still gonna be just fine. How they do? How they do? How they do? Poor Zayt. Poor Zayt. So something I've seen people be doing when they shockwave is that they try to build a lot and connect themselves all the way from where they shockwave from. And that's maybe a waste of mats, but it's also a way to make sure that you choose your position and not the randomness of the shockwave, right? In a trio situation, obviously the solo situation, shockwaves, you can choose wherever you want, but in a trio situation, you're not always picking that exactly right. If that makes sense. So, like, connecting as soon as they can and then using that to pick your position. Kind of difficult, but at the same time, not really. I want to see how Zayt gets back, or if he gets back. I also kind of feel like in that situation, the way they set that up, that the person with the shockwaves should be not the guy in the middle. It should be somebody on the side in case they need to use those shockwaves to get back to the other team, or to the team. If that makes sense. Did he just try to cone up above? Did he cone up above? By 1? In that guy's box? Yeah, he did. There's metal there. It's so interesting. I feel like that's a solo trick that could be really, really, really cool. The shockwaves aren't random. No, they're not random, but like when you don't set them up in a way that is gonna get you in the same spot, it is random to some extent, right? You don't really know what the hell you're gonna end up with. I'm not saying that shockwaves are random. That's why I said solos, they're not random at all. You pick exactly where you're going. But in trios, it's very much random sometimes. Zayt is the most unfortunate player right now. That was almost so sick. So wait. Oh, they broke the cone, they didn't replace it, he realized it. So they broke the cone, they didn't replace it because they didn't think they needed it. He noticed that, immediately goes up. He wants to do it, he wants to do it so bad. This is actually such a sick trick. So unfortunate that he fell here. And so unfortunate that these guys are both high HP. Ugh. And then this guy runs in front of Thresh. Dude. This was one of the best plays I've seen. And he gets so unlucky. Oh my god. I wonder if the play was to heavy snipe and then immediately replace before going behind that. Or at least maybe editing this and trying to place a cone and floor. That was nice. Well done, well done, well done. Meanwhile, Saf got 2 kills, by the way. We'll go back and watch those. I didn't see a launch on his inventory, but maybe he does. But, yeah, high risk, high reward. Okay. Still a cool play. If he had a launch, I'd definitely say, yeah, probably not the play. But, hey, he set it up, and it could have worked. And he just got really punished at the end there. Like one small he didn't make a mistake in that. He didn't get punished at all until he tried to chase those 2 kills. And I think that's where the mistake was. Like I'm surprised that was where the mistake that was where the mistake was, not going for the play. Right? It was the fact that he ran back in the box to try to finish those 2 kills, not going for the play. Going for the play was fine. It was safe. It was whatever. It was very safe, actually. And it was probably super, super rewarding. But then following it up by going into the box, that was the mistake there, not anything else. Because he could have just launched away and still been fine and just done 300 damage to everybody in this, or those 2 guys. That could have been what happened. I need to watch again, because we were watching Zayt this entire time. I want to see from when they basically land in zone. So Zayt landed in this position, or Bizzle landed in this position. This is the second time they get the drop in this zone, by the way. This is the second time. Saf just got one. All on his lonesome. Wait, was that the guy? Hold. I'm so confused. I'm sorry to watch this so many times, but I don't know what just happened. Okay, so this is a random guy. How did that guy lose high ground? I'm literally zoning out. How did the guy lose high ground from Bizzle? Can I just watch him maybe mode? Somebody glided on him, right? Somebody literally landed on him. Or am I like forgetting? Yeah, this guy lands on him. Builds up. Saf breaks him out. Did he launch again? No, he's shockwaved or something. And then Saf goes. Okay. Nice. Nice. It's Saf. Saf. Fucking genius. There's something to be said about how fast Saf is at finding the critical point, about finding where he needs to shoot, and the timing that he does it, because a lot of people would be so slow in finding that opportunity that they would miss it. Because Brick, obviously it builds and it has more HP, and once that ends up building enough, the opportunity's gone. But Saf there, boom, instantly. Figures out exactly what he needs to do, does it, and nets himself not only the reset, but the kill, and then the drop from it too. I like how Bizzle lands before going into the event, just to have the possibility of getting a shot, possibly. And also making sure that he's not going to get shot. Jesus Christ. Nice. Shooting the wall as he makes the edit to get the wall back in the combat. Something really nice there was Saf got knocked down and Bizzle immediately goes to his lair. It's not one of those, oh, I'm not on your lair, I'm not on your lair, I'm not on your lair, I'm not with you, and build back up to me. It's just Bizzle goes down when Saf gets knocked. What happened to Saf? Oh, he made his own shockwave. When did they split shockwaves? They did split shockwaves. Mats. Saf has mats, just barely any. He split the shockwave again. Did he split mats in all that time? Oh my goodness. Saf split him mats back then. I didn't even notice. They split the shockwave and mats. I love the I love like the one shockwave and then the height that Bizzle goes with his next. He just takes some tags and then goes right back down. And then Saf's in his phone. Like his last mat, probably. Beautiful. And then just using the airstrike to take height. I think Saf has the one more shockwave play he can make on height. Build, nice. Bizzle just died. They're still seventh place. This is a clutch. This is a crazy clutch. He's chilling after getting threshed. The importance of not placing that extra wall here is so undervalued. And then this is something cool too. A lot of people would do just go as far in as possible and then stay in the last box. Saf is almost always walking back, because if they do start spamming, they're going to spam the front of the tunnel, not the back. Saf east or west right now? That's a good question. I don't know. Dude, that was so clean. I'm sorry. That was one of the cleanest 1v1 high ground takes I've seen in ever, actually. Ever. And one of the benefits of going back in his tunnel is he actually is able to get these opportunities from different angles. And watch this. Tunnel. Again, the value cannot be understated of going so far forward without placing this wall. Goes very far forward, backs up again. He's constantly looking up at this. Sees the opportunity, waits for him to tunnel forward or tart forward. Tunnels forward again, reset. Gets one reset. The fake ramp out is This guy goes and tries to block because of that ramp. Look, he actually turns here. He turns to try to block. And because of that, reset again. High ground take from a different side. Done. Done, done, done. That was so methodical, so clean, and so cheap. That was so cheap. Until the end, that was so cheap. Cheap and not risky. You always see these people freaking high ground fighting forever with like the most crazy PG strats and whatever. And they spend so many mats and get way too high. So by the time they need to come down, they can't because they don't have the mats. They can't do it. Or they get shot out and have to come really, really fast. So simple. Oh! Oh my goodness, Saf, that was so close. That was so smart too. If he didn't 50-50 in this box, I think he has an opportunity to win this game. He just looks to see which direction they go. Looks to see which directions they go. And then breaks in where they're gonna go. Because they're not focused on pretty much anything. See? Now they're breaking this wall. Zaf comes in, breaks from the side. I don't think he really meant to, but I don't think he realized he had the space here. You could kind of tell his footing was a little weird on that one. Almost. Okay, next. Oh, this is the one. I love this fucking game. I love this game. So, here. What? Oh, Emad GG, yeah. Okay, so here's a mistake I feel like is being made by this team, right? TJ should not be going this way. He should not be 50-50ing Saf. I think that is very clear. But he should not be going like, if he's going to go anywhere, he should go here. Or maybe he did actually. Let me, before I speak. Yeah, so he should not come here. There's literally no danger of him being anywhere else on the map right now. He could take this. He could take this. He could do so much more. He could take some of this. He could do so much more than looting something that they're going to loot anyway. So watch what happens. Watch what happens. They do a split that I think is very interesting, north side, so he takes modern instead of going anywhere else. Bizzle still goes here. Saf usually takes this. So look at the amount of space they have in comparison to these guys. And look how fast they loot in comparison to these guys. Bizzle's done. Bizzle's coming to get a little bit more. All right? Zayt's still taking his time. Saf's still taking his time. But Bizzle already has a loadout. Here he has a loadout. Saf? Not so much. Zayt? Zayt, not so much. But they still have so much more to loot. Sure, I think at this point, if they're not done looting and already starting to push, that's the issue. But still, if they push Saf and Bizzle, they're already set. Watch the loot over here. That's a loadout. I'd call that a loadout. I'd call this not a loadout. I'd call this a loadout. But they're all grouped up. There's still no more loot that they're getting. What about shields on the other team over here? Full, none, full. Interesting. Here goes Bruzzy. They're starting to invade. They're starting to take center. They need to take center, right? They need to. More loot. But look at Saf's position. He knows. They need to come center. They need to come. He's paying attention to RV Park. He's paying attention to all these spots on the side. Look how comfortable he is just doing this. These guys are starting to encroach over here. They're still looting though. Bizzle's not. Bizzle's looking. Saf gonna get a surprise shot because they have no idea what else is going on. Boom, boom, boom. One tag. backs up. They also, at the same time, are spamming Bruzzy. At the same time, they're spamming Bruzzy. Like that was squad firing, obviously not at the same target, but Bizzle is shooting Bruzzy to open the fight. Now they have to deal with two things, two pieces of information that they didn't have before, both by surprise. See, Bruzzy doesn't cover his angle because of that as well as he could have. Gets one tag, he knows that guy's broken his shield. They know he's probably drinking minis. Bizzle comes and encroaches even further with the shadows. And they don't get that information because they are getting pushed way back. So Bizzle coming up, hides right behind a rock to come out. Saf does the same thing with the shockwave. Maybe a little bit psycho, but in the background, Zayt's pressuring the people that Bizzle was fighting. COD Genesis is trying to stop Saf from getting TJ. Bizzle goes and takes a different angle. Saf has high ground, continues to push. Low on materials. This fight is over at this point because Bizzle and Saf are together and pinching Bruzzy and TJ. Watch what they do. Desperate times. Desperate times. Tried to flint knock. He already had the idea in his mind, and Zayt is immediately just shooting him, and there's nothing he could do because the idea was not sound once Zayt started shooting him. And then this last guy is literally fuckoed. Literally. One. Team ace. Team clear. All because they had to push in for more loot, and these guys had everything, literally every single angle covered. That's a clinic on early game fighting, man. That's just a clinic. A clinic. Oh, so they get another fight. Oh, because this guy's solo. He falls back. His team comes in. Oh, there's so many teams in the way here. They're trying to W key the solo because they hit him, I guess, probably. Here comes his team on a quad bike. So, yeah, nice play by this team to get back together and play split. And that's one of the reasons why playing split is actually good. Unfortunately, Trappy got hit and he didn't drift off fast enough because he didn't get the information fast enough. But let's watch this fight play out. Did Zayt just go over top of him? See, again, two people from this side, Zayt on the back on the flank, and Saf pretty much kills Trappy here. Pretty much. And they can't advance. They can't even advance to get over towards Trappy or really do anything, right? What they should do is probably push this close side, but even then it's very difficult because it's literally a full-on pinch from backside and front side. Not like one of those just adjacent sides. Like Zayt's not over here or over here. Then they go different directions. TK goes one side, Sean goes the other, but still split. They kind of nets themselves a good position on these guys. And Zayt just got heavy snipe from this team, by the way, over here. Oh, that was actually really cool. Saf made the edit over here and then came back behind his wall, which he knew was empty. I don't know if it really... it definitely worked. I don't know if he did it on purpose. But it made Sean H like not have his back to him. Or have his back to him. Probably nice. So Zayt's dead. But mind you, they still win. Oh my god. Double heavy snipe? Are you kidding me? Do they get Zayt back up? Yes, they do. I get Zayt back up. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't wonder how they do it. At this point of the game, there should no way in hell be getting that. Also, look how Saf is immediately going to get a position up on the hill so they can rotate through it together. Oh no, he's looking for loot. Never mind. Pretty sure he's looking for loot. Drop the minigun. Oh, ballers. Nice. The ballers are underutilized in trios, honestly, and like rotating through baller spots because they're not being picked up as much. Oh, that's too funny. Okay. I like that they wait for a little while after the zone closes to let people pass. That's a pretty much guaranteed way to get the reboot, and not showing that you're going for the reboot is important too. I think that's very important. But of course, zone positioning there was key too, right? The luckily the zone wasn't giving them like Jesus Christ, what's going on? They're literally fighting everybody. Fighting everybody. There we go. Oh, come on. I like how when they do, they scout the top of this hill. You saw them use their ballers just to scout the top of the hill to know how they have to rotate. Do they rotate far away? Do they rotate underneath the mountain? Just that little bit of information will make it so that when you come through here, you don't get surprised. Scouting the top of the hill. I've even seen people like slightly build up to a hill and then just go down, right? It's not even a hill that you want to take. It's not even a hill that you want to position yourself on, but you just make it so that you know what's going on. I have seen them get 5 drops in 3 games. 5 drops. At a certain point, you have to wonder, how the hell are they doing that? I don't really have an answer just yet. Man, ballsy. Storm fight. Oh, that jump. He could have thrown that on the floor. That sucks. That was almost going to be a pinch, too, from Saf. Yo, I love this this guerrilla warfare from Zayt. Just throw stinks every once in a while. Stinks for Saf to continue pressuring. Where's Bizzle all this time? Oh, he got behind them. He's literally just rocketing. Oh, he's keeping this team down, actually. Keeping this team down and pressuring when he needs to. Cool, cool, cool. Good call to slow it down here. Is this zone coming or not? No, it's not coming. Sorry. I thought it was coming. It was not even close to what I thought it was. That's really cool too. Just that small hole that he breaks in here. Not only is he confirming, are they here or are they continuing their turtle out? But if they do decide to come back through the stinks, they're not going to necessarily realize that that hole is open. So it's like a check. Like this is really, really easy to implement into your own game, right? It's just throw stink, they move. If you're not sure where they are, shoot it first, right? Shoot the box first. I see too many people just, and I do this myself too, just throw a stink and then throw a stink again at the next spot that you think. Let's go, guys. That was a really, really, really good fight. The perfect moment to slow it down too was when they all started turtling away. Very nice. 6 stinks for a ton of mats and new weapon is worth. And also points, guys. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. That is points, and they get back in terms of materials a little bit. They're not that great, but you could still make this work, and they're trying to get a bunch of kills in this game. It's already very clear. They pushed 2 teams. They're trying to get a lot of kills. Go, tell me they get this drop. Tell me they get this drop. Tell me. I would hope so, Pandemonium. I haven't seen any confirmation of it being fixed yet. Never know. Why aren't they covering their top? Oh, because they know they're going to move? Still, a little crazy, right? Oh, excuse me. I don't know why I'm slow. The slow motion. Oh, they kill these guys. No way. Hello? Proxy? Hello? Zayt has low ping? Since when? Zayt's a dick, though. What the fuck? Is Bizzle like getting killed? I like that. I like that airstrike a lot. That team is low ground. That team has the only position low ground where there's literally nobody going to be able to harass them, right? If they were there, if they weren't. Sorry, if they were there, there's no other spot where they can go that will be as valuable as them, where they're literally not going to be able to get shot by anybody. I don't know if this is why they want this position, because I don't think that is necessarily the best when they're trying to get a lot of kills. But this point is the worst time to get kills. Also, the fight is okay because so that's the reasoning, right? The fight is okay because You can't get hit by anybody else in this position, right? There's the one team that was there rotating through, but they didn't stick in a position that they could still third party this. So it's one of those like unthird partyable spots. And the airstrike was perfect too, because they were only exactly what they're doing right now, which is based up on one level. There's literally no chance of this not hitting them perfectly, and they get zoned. Nice. If they were like 2 layers, they were 2 layers high, maybe it wouldn't have been as good. But I don't think this team needed to panic as much with the airstrike. Good awareness by Saf. So that was again the same thing. I'm chasing this because I can't get third partied. As soon as they get into third party range, he builds the pyramid. I like it. Shit, remaxing on one type of material, sick, because they're playing on mats. Especially wood. Wood's not something I would be like, oh yeah, let me go back and get more wood. Yes it is. I'm stupid. That's something that everybody's figured out by now. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Lady strap. Oh, so many mats. So many mats. They got out. Bizzle didn't. Feels bad. What happened to him? I don't even know. I don't think it's worth to go back. Oh! Queen Bizzle. Queen! Why is he going up? Crazy psycho. Or Saf. Saf is going up to the side. Zayt is going up to another side. Brah! I'm saying, man. Okay, so this is high ground take. Advanced high ground takes. Not all building at the same angle and all going from different directions and stuff like that, right? Makes it so much harder for people to realize that there are multiple spots like getting pushed. Harder for your entire team to get focused, right? There's only one target. And then, yeah, this is literally pinching high ground. Like pinching high ground from top, from 2 sides. Pretty nuts if you ask me. Zayt's also the guy who like always is going up. Like he's taken from high, everybody else is coming from 2 different sides on low. This is so practice, man. They've literally thought about how to take high ground, because this is the second time we've seen them take high ground in this similar fashion. 472. Needs to go back to liquid 72 hours, man. TL 72. I don't know about that, man. It's not as iconic, you know. That shot was nasty. That was a target switch based on other people's calls, by the way. He was shooting E-Man, and they were like, 72 is one shot. And he flicked to hit that. Bruh. And then he also cleaned up E-Man at the same time. I know also replay lag, but... Right? Ugh. Ugh. It's funny. See, this guy thought he was taking height, but Zayt is height, brother. Zayt is super height, but he thought he was taking height. He was like, yeah, I'm going for height. I'm going for height. Saf is literally still there. Zayt is still way high. All he was doing was fighting Saf. All he was doing was fighting Saf. How do I get back to these guys? Here we go. Ooh, a Zayt clutch. Really like to see. Oops. Oops. That was unfortunate. They do not let up the pressure, man. The entire time. The Saf has just continued to go one low, and then spams from Zayt, and then they descend at the same time, one low. Does Zayt still have mats? Yes, he does. Oh no, he doesn't. Zayt, please. Oh shit. Nice. Hold the items. Alright, here was the craziest split that they did. This is their last game. The craziest split that they did. Look at this shit. Bizzle, Saf, Zayt. Shit. Saf should have gone all the way fucking here, to be honest. They really wanted to go for it. He should have gone all the way over here. But yeah. We can skip all this, because not much. I think we'll skip to here. Oh. Actually, no. Yeah. We're done with that. I just want to watch that. They played so passive until the end. So passive. Edge, you're nuts. Welcome, dude. And it was kind of sad. They basically just needed to get a couple points in this game. They got in this game with like 2 minutes left. It's pretty nuts. Yeah, Saf, shoot your fucking pyramid. Fuck that pyramid. Fuck that thing up! Are they always above? Yeah, I was asking myself that too, but I'm too lazy to go back, and I don't have that much time. I gotta end soon. I really like what they... Do I really like what they did there? Like they marked this team so they would fly over them so they wouldn't be able to shoot them, I think. But then people from the mountain started shooting them, so it kind of backfired. I don't know. It's like get over these guys and then swing hard to under the mountain, maybe. Instead of just like flying and floating this entire way. That's maybe the concept. I like the split mats on all sides, even using a little bit of wood here that's not that valuable, and then just sitting in a 2x1, right? Because they're playing so passively, they're not going for shots, they're not trying to WP anybody. They switch the gear, right? It's just a different way to play. It's a different, different way to play. And you got to be able to switch gears like this, because New York, you're gonna have to play like this. You're not going to be able to do the things that they did earlier. You are just not going to be able to do the things they did earlier. Curious what this is. What is this? Shockwave method? They're trying to set up some shockwave method. What the fuck are they doing? Oh, sick. Does this work? Does this work? No! Not at all! Not even close! Oh, shit, actually. Hold up, y'all. Zayt and Saf are together. Yo, they're together. So it works 2 out of 3, and then Bizzle can get to us anyways. Oh, they're just gonna fuck Bizzle. Fuck you, Bizzle. Bruh, they are so good at keeping track of each other. So good. Alright, here we go. Watch this high ground take from multiple angles. Watch how it works. We're gonna look from Anthony's perspective over here. Oh, I'm gonna slow motion this shit, dude. One guy's super high. Fuck! Stupid drone. One guy's super high. Bizzle. Zayt and Saf. High, but just spamming. Right? At about the same level. And Bizzle just builds. Oh, as soon as he gets up, he starts shooting too. They get pressured down so hard. They actually kill Agalor. And then Saf goes to one side and continues forward. Zayt continues pressuring from the same side. Bizzle starts ramping over. Or starts tunneling or tarping over. They didn't even like go over them at all. Everybody has this conception that you need to go over somebody or use a rocket to knock somebody off if you want to do this. But 3 people shooting at somebody and shooting at a player's tarp and tunnel on high ground, bruh. Especially from 3 different angles. And again, there's that thing that I'm talking about, right? One piece just to connect in random different spots to each other. Makes this so hard to break down. See, one connect to Bizzle here. And they're chilling. They actually don't even really need to connect to Bizzle. The only reason they would want to connect to Bizzle if they don't want this to get knocked out, which, yes, probably. But they're all focused on trying to get these kills and tarping over everybody else. Yeah, they probably should have connected. Just two walls on the side, and all of a sudden that doesn't happen. But see, like, how synchronized this all was. They knocked down one person, it's still going. The high ground's still going. Now, boom, 3 connection points, 4 connection points. And Bizzle just goes forward. And look, Zayt actually goes higher than everybody else. He's higher than Bizzle. Where is Bizzle? God, this stupid. Where's Bizzle? Bizzle's still down below. Zayt is all the way up here. One ramp. Fucking playing Twitch. Doesn't even have ladder redeploy. And then watch what he does. He just goes and connects to the mountain. Actually, no. Again, Saf is gonna be the guy who connects to him. Oh, I'm still in slow motion. Tactics over everything in trios, dog. Tactics over everything. Did you guys see anything flashy throughout all these games? Or did you guys just see slow, not slow, but super precise tactical play? That's all I saw. Zayt pops off at the end here. It's whatever. Later, Nate. That was good. And it's just dibs. They controlled the server so hard, man. The only time that people were able to do anything, they were literally just shockwaving up. It was only shockwaves up. These one-off attempts. Nothing coordinated, no full team fighting. They're literally so coordinated. And when there is any trouble, exactly like you just said in chat, Jotadi, they're right next to each other. They get right back to each other's side. Sorry, Dubs. GG. This is how they won the Trios Cup. Time for the YouTube outro. I don't remember how to do an outro. It's been so long. All right, guys, that was it for the VOD review. That was Zayt, Saf, and Bizzle in the Trios Cash Cup. They were freaking nuts. We learned a lot. That was probably one of my favorite VOD reviews in a little while, but also one of my only VOD reviews in a little while. Sorry about that, but I was really burnt out, as I said before, of all the World Cup ones. 10 weeks of casting and then doing a VOD review, multiple VOD reviews every single week was really hard. So sorry, but if you like that, make sure you like, subscribe, do all the things on my social media. Use creator code Ballatw, and we'll be back with more content just like this. Peace.